Surrender Not the Flame is a story that I've worked on and come back to many times over the course of several years. I've always had an intense interest in the era of the Great Mortality, also known as the Black Death, as well as religious inquisition. I wanted to tell a story about what that was like, but yet filter it through the eyes of someone who, though living in that time, would be a bit closer to us in terms of understanding of life, of having a greater expansion of consciousness than his medieval contemporaries, and how he, or perhaps even she, would act in those events and be affected by them. And after having gone through the COVID pandemic, the relevancy of this tale seems even greater than what it was before. The audio drama is a hybrid screenplay and novel, as I've written both for this story. Though the main character, Elowan, is fictional, along with the other cast members, the context of what they encounter in terms of the plague and religious persecution is based on documented texts for those particular events. Many of the characters do react exactly as people did back in the time period. The collapse of society as expressed in the drama actually did happen in many towns and villages as it is dramatized. I didn't think about putting all this together as an audio drama until I became witness to what the new AI technology could do.
Rachel! 'Twas nothing!
No idle hands, Jehan.
When I heard the voice change capability, this little light went off in my head with a what if? So I did a test where I took a couple of scenes from the script, read them out, put them through the AI voice transformation process. I was completely blown away. Right then I knew I could bring this story to life. After securing my library of sound effects, I set about turning what had always been written on paper to being something just as cinematic and captivating as a movie in the theater. I used the screenplay format as the base, breaking out each scene, by number. Each scene then gets its own folder in my computer, and within that folder will go all the voices, sound effects, and music for that particular scene. First step is recording any narration, which is my natural native voice in the drama. Then I will go back and do each character one by one. If they have multiple lines broken up by other characters, doesn't matter. It all gets recorded in one pass. Sometimes I end up recording the same line of dialogue 3 or 4 times to get differing inflections or intensity, and will then edit them prior to the AI voice change, or if I'm really curious, keep them all in there and see how they sound with the AI voice. You spoke to me as if my mother had
somehow whispered into your ear.
Do we not know that the ocean turns into
Mist, that turns into rain, that comes down the rivers and back out into the oceans again?
Once the voices have been transformed, they will be designated by scene number and character name. Then it's on to the creation process. I first lay out the entire scene as it is written in the script. Once all the voices have been put into place, then I will go out and grab the sound effects. Environmental sounds, character movements, whatever is needed to bring a sense of exterior reality within the conversation or scene description as it's happening. Elowan found the coughing coming from a family towing a covered cart entering the city alongside him. He noticed the father buckling from the hacking. His wife, concerned, placed a hand on her husband's forehead to check for fever. Then finally, if the tone calls for it, I will add music for that extra bit of cinematic depth. The captain shoved the helmsman from the wheel. He grabbed the spokes of the tiller and hurried to steer while nodding toward a few crewmen struggling to handle the mast. I can spend several hours tweaking just one scene, but sometimes that is what it takes.
What is happening to me?
Very soon, you're going to be walking down a long tunnel with a bright light at the end, brighter than the sun.